Welcome back to The Chatter. You know our producer and his photo a day challenge, but really 10 days in Guatemala. Welcome, Producer Pete, back to the table.
Thank you,
That's
thank
a
you.
lot
I'm
of
glad
photo
to
a
be here.
day.
Yeah.
Fun stuff.
I had a
over
friend
there.
that says, really? That's not fair.
No, it's not.
Guatemala, I mean, we're stuck here in Utah
For
Valley.
10 days.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So it was a pretty fun
So it wasn't because you
privilege.
got stuck there from coronavirus.
No,
Okay.
I
What
was
it
concerned.
for? I bet you guys were. Were you concerned
I
over
was
there?
concerned. We heard that in the airports, in the U.S., they were stopping people and checking people. We came into Houston and had no stops at all, just right through
Really?
customs, no problems.
Okay.
So
So that's good.
So you went in February,
yes,
10 days. Tell us about what group you went with.
I went with the Hirsche Smiles Foundation.
Oh,
The
okay.
Hirsche Smiles group was formed right here in Utah Valley.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Blaine Hirsche and his family started this about 30 years ago.
Has it been that long?
Yeah,
Wow,
it's been
okay.
30
I went
years.
to high school with one of his daughters, so I do know them, and they've done some really great stuff. They have.
So 25 years ago, I went on a mission with them
Oh,
to
okay.
Guatemala,
Wow.
and actually went to the same city that we went to in this particular trip we're going to talk
Oh.
about.
So do you
Yeah.
just go to one city then?
It depends.
Okay.
Initially, it was just that one city because it was easy for the doctors to work out of a local hospital
Right.
there, and there were a lot of needs out in the villages around. But more recently, the surgeons stay in Guatemala City because of a better clinic, and they just bring people in
Okay.
from around the country. The dentists, though, still travel out into the different areas of the country because you got to go to
can't
the
get
village.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
Right.
kids or whoever needs their help just can't get out there.
That's so neat.
So when it originally started, I want to think or remember somehow that it was just because of the cleft palates.
That's the big thing. Dr.
Okay.
Hirsche was a plastic surgeon.
Okay.
And so that was part of his practice here in the U.S. was taking care of cleft palates, among other things.
Is that
but
still
it's-
the
yeah,
majority of
right.
it?
And in the surgical team, yes,
Really?
dramatically.
So they're still
Always.
super affected that way.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. It's
And then are they
it's a
doing-
nutritional issue. It's all
Oh,
kinds of
okay.
things.
Really?
They just I've been told by some people that the mothers they don't have access to prenatal care, and so no vitamins, and so their bodies are just depleted of those nutrients to help
Wow.
form the full face of a baby.
Interesting.
So what was your main function the trips before and this time?
All three, I've been down there 3 times.
Okay.
And my purpose in going is to help promote the group
Okay.
because I'm a video guy.
Uh-huh.
And so I made the promotional video for the surgical team 25 years ago.
Okay.
I made another surgical team video 4 years ago, and this time I was with the dental group. So I'll be
Oh,
making
okay.
a video
So
for
how
the
did
dental
you
group.
first connect with the group?
Well, that's one of the
Nice.
nurses that was working with the foundation. Then I was working with her doing medical training videos. And so it was kind of a natural leap. Hey, Pete, come with us on these
Okay.
trips and
That's
help
so
us put
awesome.
together a promotional
And you have
piece.
to pay your own way?
Um,
Or do they help
they
supplement it a little
will,
bit?
not to pat myself on the back, but they will pay my way.
Oh, okay.
But
good.
I don't charge them any fees at all.
Oh, okay.
So I
So
don't
you
charge them for
donate
my
that
work
portion.
or the editing. I just, that's my give back
Okay.
to the organization. So
Okay.
to them, it's a bargain
Yeah.
because I'm so
Yeah.
expensive.
So how many children were you guys able to see when you were down there?
Yeah, so we worked in the villages and schools and churches, and roughly every day there was about 100, maybe
my
125 that would come.
A day?
A day. The big day was like 160, maybe 170.
So are they just doing dental cleanings and exams, or
Nope,
this
nope,
is cleft
this-
palate and
nope,
that?
This
No.
is dental extractions.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
90% of the cases are simply
It's just
we're
bad
just pulling teeth out because they are rotten down to the down to the bone pretty much.
And then that can cause other infections that cause other
Right,
ill.
right.
Yeah.
I mean, can you imagine having a toothache for 6 months, waiting for us to come?
Do they not have dentists there?
No. There are some dentists in the major cities or in the bigger areas, but to get the care, I mean, we went to a village that was 2 hours at the top of a mountain, and they just can't come down to the mountain and get dental care. And the health care in Guatemala, as I learned during this trip, is that yes, the government will pay for your health care, but trying to get health care is almost impossible.
Right.
Tricky.
Yeah.
Well, there was one photo that stuck with me, photo of the day, and it was the little girl in the landfill.
Yes.
So tell
Yes.
us about that photo.
That just gives me chills just thinking about that. But one of our afternoons, we drove through the country roads, and we ended up we were going to a landfill where people actually live.
No.
Families were living at this landfill. And so if you looked at this table here as being kind of the way the landfill is, trucks would come in, the kids would chase after the trucks and jump on the back of the trucks. Around the peripheral of the landfill were small one room or maybe 2-room huts built out of whatever garbage was in the landfill. I mean, they would just take stuff and put together a hut, and they would live right there. And they had kind of a gathering spot in the middle where one woman would kind of act as head cook for the area, and they'd bring things and they would cook things up.
I imagine it being dirty and just
It was
unhealthy.
filthy. I mean,
And was it
birds
a
and
currently
dogs.
active landfill? Like
Oh, yeah.
people, they were still dumping there?
Yes.
They were chasing
While we
after
were
the
there, there were
truck.
trucks driving in, and there were people going out and going through the different items and gathering not plywood, gathering cardboard or tires or whatever. They were just constantly always looking through things
So what
while the children are out playing soccer and having a great time.
and they don't know anything
Right.
different.
And that's what's so
That's
weird
their
about
life.
this in my mind is, here they are living in the worst of worse,
And they're
and
happy.
they're happy. And that was the photo of the little girl, because she
I
just
loved it.
she was smiling more before I took the picture, and I got her in a spot where she was just that half smile, but dirty face, it
So
just breaks
what
my heart.
was your highlight of the trip, if there was one?
That may be it right
Yeah.
there. But the day before that, we were up in a small village, and we were. This was part of a humanitarian effort versus the dental work. They sent a small team of people to help rebuild houses or rebuild huts, if you will, and they put some corrugated metal on roofs or on walls. So I was with that team that day getting video of what they were doing. And there was a little girl, probably about 6 or 7 years old, that was sitting in or hiding in the bedroom. And there was like a little cutout of the cardboard, the wall was basically a cardboard, and she would kind of look out that window and look at me. And I could tell she had kind of a puffy lip, so she had just come from the dentist a little earlier, and so she had a little bit of a puffy lip. And she came, eventually she came out of the room and sat by me. She wanted to look through the camera. So I turned on the video camera and turned on my photo camera, and we bonded right there for about 20 minutes, taking pictures together. I showed her where to push and where to look, and so she was taking pictures with my camera, and I'd smile and she'd smile and her brother would smile. We took a picture of her stuffed animal, and
And maybe I'd never seen that or experienced
probably
that.
never did.
Yeah.
And I don't speak Spanish, and she didn't speak any English, and so we just had that moment of sharing.
Yeah, and
God.
pictures
And
that
can
experience.
say so much
And you
also.
think most of our kids see that every day on their parents' phones.
Sure, or their own phones.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
how many photos a day
Probably
do they take
never
on their
seen
phones,
her
right?
like
right.
that before.
Yeah.
So on that note, just through the years of transition and being able to go on these trips, have you looked at your original footage and compared to
No.
now?
I don't.
That would be really cool though,
Yeah.
to see even
Yeah.
how much that's changed.
True.
Is the first one on a reel?
Yeah, somewhere. I don't know. I don't even want to go back there.
Eight
Yeah, thanks a
millimeter.
lot. Unreal. Yeah.
I'm kidding, of course.
I have to spin it like
Well, we're
this.
glad that
watch
you're
it.
back. We're
I know,
glad
I'm
you're
glad
back.
that
And
you
that's
shared
really,
this
really
with us.
It
cool.
was a
Yeah.
very, very
Super
fun
cool.
trip. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. You have to be careful of what you drink and what you eat
Yeah.
everywhere you go, And the showers are, we wear sandals in the shower in case we might cut
But
our foot
unlike being at
somewhere.
home right now.
Yeah, exactly. Really. And then there's a little garbage can next to the toilet because you don't flush paper. You don't.
Right.
So it's a different kind of a world.
Yeah, for sure.
Well,
Yeah.
welcome back.
Thanks
thank
for
you.
sharing. Yeah,
And
glad
thanks
to
for
have you in
going.
the hot seat again.
Well, I appreciate what all you three do here for the show and just my little bit of giving back.
Oh, thank you.
Next on Studio Chatter, we love to talk travel. That's coming right up.